welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. My name's Paul Church from Clarity Craft here in the UK. I can see we have some friends already tuned in over on our YouTube page. Good morning, Karen, Marcy and Ian. Lovely to have your company as always. Marcy is in Delaware and it's 64 degrees and it's about 5 a.m. Goodness me. Very warm here in Edenbridge in Kent, which is unusual. Normally it's raining, but it seems as if we're going for a little 4-day heat wave down here in the south. So I'm just going to move that mouse because it's over the end button. I don't want it to be there. There we go. So I hope everyone's well. I can see we've got some eyes coming in. I reckon Mo's going to be the next person in the chat, as always. But I know she went back to work last week, so maybe she could be at work. So there we go. Got the lovely Sue with you. Sue's in the room. So if you have any questions, she's there to help. Good morning, Jill. Lovely weather at the moment. Short sleeve, feel a bit tropical today. Good morning, Karin. It's beautiful in Crawley. I think most of the UK is currently experiencing lovely weather. Good morning, Ken. That should be my message from Sue. Thumbs up from Sue. So that means hopefully everybody can hear me and I just haven't been talking to myself for a while. Annie's in Flintshire. Good morning. There we go. Here comes everybody. Pull up a chair. I've got 2 fans on. I've got one underneath and I've got one over there. Hopefully it won't interfere with the microphone. They're far enough away. Good morning, we've got lovely Jayne and Josie. It's overcast in Derbyshire. I'm sure the sun will soon come through. So I hope everyone's had a good week so far. What else? There's Mo. Good morning, Mo. You're late today. Where have you been? You're normally the first one in the room. Wasn't sure whether you was at work or not. So it's, again, lovely to have everybody's company. Lovely Margaret's in the room as well. Lillian, yoo-hoo. There we go. So I love my Tuesdays. 10 o'clock, Tuesday morning, every Tuesday. I know exactly where I want to be and where I am. And yeah, it's been a mad few days. Had some fantastic shows up on Create and Craft on Saturday and Sunday. The lovely Jayne Nestorenko. Sampler plates in Stamp and Groovi, the voucher pouches in Stamps and Groovi, and the fantastic Felt by Clarity kits of the lovely star, the holly leaf, and the Christmas trees. Yeah, really good shows, real fun. Always a pleasure to work with the various different presenters and the staff up at the TV. And but yeah, it was a busy 2 days. It really was. So so I hope you managed to tune in and enjoyed the, what was it, 6 hours we had, didn't we? Yeah. When you say it like that, 6 hours. It was spread over the 2 days. We had 4 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday. And yeah, I think it was a nice combination of different products. Many of our friends enjoyed all of the products, from the Jayne Nestorenko to the voucher pouches. Voucher pouches are great. Stamp and Groovi. I mean, those stamps. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch on Rewind Catch Up over on the Create and Craft website. So, but yeah, what we got? You might have a Groovi detention. It's going to be another scorcher in Nottingham. We're always here to tempt you, Ken. You should know that by now. You should know that. Okay, so where are we heading today? So over the past few weeks, we've had a little sort of interlude with the calligraphy girls, a little sidetrack, and we're continuing on our journey using the Jayne Nestorenko Floral sampler. And on TV on Saturday, I gave you a sneaky peek last week, didn't I? We introduced the Jayne Nestorenko Winter Scene sampler with our little children, the snowmen on there. Beautiful, beautiful designs. I'm sure Sue could pop a link up if you want to know what I was referring to. Right, so I got sidetracked reading the messages. So we've been working with this, and for me, I don't think it matters what level at parching you're at, whether you're new to it, whether you've been doing it for many, many years, whether you just like tracing out, whether you enjoy the colouring, whether you enjoy the white work. There's so many different aspects to parchment craft. And for me, a sampler plate like this, and we've brought many of the different configurations to you in the past as samplers. There was the Linda Williams Christmas Treasures. There was also the Linda Williams layering frames one. I'm just trying to think what else we've got in samplers. I know we've got quite a few, but these are little bite-sized pieces of artwork. And whether you just choose to use one tile or whether you want to use several of them, they're great for also practicing the various skills. And that's what we've been doing over the past few months. And we started off by looking at sort of white work, didn't we? So we looked at tracing out the dahlia using the various different tools, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, to get different types of line art. We then looked at using the Pergamano ball tools, and then back in stock, the fantastic shader tools on this area here. So we had a look at the shading, and you remember on the back where we've been working, I made a reference to what I'd used, how many layers I'd used on it, just to build up. So it's sort of like a reference, isn't it? Then we started to have a look at some colour, the different ways of colouring in our design. So on the front of this one, we use the Pergamano metallic gel pens. This one, we use the Pergolina B pencils. And again, I kept a little reference of what colours I'd used, whether I used Dorso oil, the blending pen. Then this one here, I use the Pergamano Pergacolor exclusive pens. And for this, I use the number 9 scribbled on the mix mats with a dry brush. And finally, I used the Dorso crayons, which was from the Lively collection. And we went with the purple and navy on the mix mats with some Dorso oil and a blending pen as well. Okay, so that's what we sort of looked at. So this was my sort of key, wasn't it? This was my practice piece. And then what we did was we actually then put it into practice with different colours. And we stepped it up a little bit. So for example, when I use the Dorso crayons this time, I then use the Pergolina B pencils to intensify the colour. If I get a piece of companion paper, there we go. And then for this one, we use the Pergacolor pens direct to the parchment. I use the number 1 colour as a base, the number 2 as a tip, and then the number 1 to blend them all together. And that was a tip from Jayne about sort of blending the colours using the Pergacolor pens themselves. And then last week, what we decided to, I say we, what I decided we would try was then bringing all of those different things together on one little piece of artwork. So I created a set of 4 designs. Okay, so we just took 4 of the squares. Then I traced out some of my favorite elements. So I went for Jayne's rose. I went for the agapanthus. We added a butterfly. And then I added a little scroll, so we can put a sentiment in there. I hadn't decided at this point whether I'm going to go for happy birthday, I love you, best wishes, thinking of you. Probably don't want to put, merry and bright might work. Peace on earth, possibly. We could always do with have peace on earth, couldn't we? What's the question from Jill? Anyone, any idea why I can no longer swipe left for comments? I'm on an iPad mini, so the picture is too small unless I turn it landscape. I've always been able to see comments up until last week. Jill, all I can say is if nobody can help, it's possibly Facebook doing updates, configurations, the way we do things. Often you find with software, they'll do an update without telling you that they're doing an update, and then you've been doing something the same way all the time, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. Possibly what you may want to try, putting my old IT hat on, is turn it off and switch it back on again. Close the apps, switch the iPad off, switch it back on again, open the app, and then see if that works. 90% of the time, by giving something a reboot, often fixes it. But it could be something to do with an update. So I agree with Mo. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Totally agree. Okay. So last week we got to the stage, you know, it's like time always runs out with us, doesn't it? One, because I probably waffle too much. So that was as far as I got last week. Okay. But I've got my little notes down the side on what I was going to do with them. So on the butterfly, I'm going to colour in with the pergolina pencils. On my rose, I'm going to use the Dorso crayons and the P pencils. And then for the agapanthus, I'm going to use the Perga colour pens, just to bring all the 3 different colour mediums into play. Okay, there we go. There's a response from Margaret. Press on the left side. I had this for quite some time. There we go. Okay, so this was my fault, because I was thinking to myself this morning, what are we doing this week? What do I say? I'm thinking, so luckily when I got my piece of artwork out, it was all written down for me. So, just distracted with your lovely comments. So it's very warm. I'm sure many of you are probably sitting out in the garden on your iPads, tablets, phones. So Deborah says, mine's the same. I watch on YouTube and have comments on iPad portrait. There we go. How big is Ken's fridge? Oh, I missed that one. Right, okay. So let's have a look. I'm going to go with my favourite colouring method to start with. And I'm going to go with the Pergolina B pencils. So therefore, I'm going to go with my butterfly first. Okay. So when I'm colouring, I'm going to colour in on the back. Oh, Jill, that didn't work. Oh no, no, you've let me down. Well, you're the 10% where it didn't work. Okay, so I've got my Pergolina B pencils. I'm definitely going to need my blending pen. Now, what colour do I want to do? I'm going to get my goggles out. What colour do I want to do my butterfly? See, I sometimes like to keep it 2 tones of colour. See, I always go for the yellow and red to create that lovely orange. But I'm going to have the lovely agapanthus on there as well. The rose. Come on. What colour should I go for my butterfly? Let's have some suggestions, shall we? A couple of colours. 2, maybe 2 colours. I know this one is a lovely burgundy red, number 13. So I wonder if I took that with yellow. I wonder what that would look like. So the B8. Mo's saying black and red. Oh, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Black and red. Yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to take black and red out. Jayne saying blue and cerise. Okay. So, okay, Jayne, which blue? Are we going the light blue or the dark blue? There's a cerise, B14. I'm going to try some different colour options. What else we got? Blue and cerise, Suzanne red and purple. Okay, so I've got the purple out of the cerise. Good morning, Glynis. The dark blue. Okay, right. So we've got those colours. We've got those colours, but cerise and light blue. Okay. Right. I've got 6 colours to choose from now. Let's just keep it there. Otherwise, I'll have the whole box out. So what I'm going to do, like I always do, is I'm going to practice first. Okay, so I've got a spare piece of parchment, and let's see, what shall I trace out? Let's pop those to one side. That can go onto there. So I've got my parchment, I've got the number 1 tool, I've got my tumble dry sheet. Okay, I'll just do something very simple. So okay, I'm going to go for this butterfly. Okay, and I'm just going to trace the outline. So I'm just going to go with the number 1. See, Jayne's designs, because Jayne was a stamper, she has the stamping, and I know that this would be a beautiful decoupage piece from Jayne. Oops, slow down. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, move it along. Oh, didn't wipe that area. So Glynis is definitely on detention. She's late this morning. Mo just about got away with it for being late. So there we go. This one, and we'll do 1 more because we've got 3 different colour options. Okay. The detention room is definitely filling up. And Sue, yes. There's no naughty step though. There's no naughty step. Nobody's naughty, are they? What was that? Isn't it funny how these old sayings? What was the one last week? It was from the Vicks nasal spray advert, wasn't it? Okay, 3 butterflies, not necessarily straight in a row. I'm going to zoom in now. Okay, what I was thinking to myself was, there's nobody. Which way am I going? I'm coming this way. There's nobody on the naughty step, but then I think it was what I'm about to say. I think it was Lorraine Chase, and it was to do with fresh cream cakes. Naughty but nice. Naughty but nice, Lorraine. Was that? I know Lorraine Chase was also Luton Airport. Was it? I know someone. I think I'm probably gone totally off. Naughty but nice. I can just see someone eating a fresh cream chocolate eclair, and as they bit into it, the cream. Oh, I do love chocolate eclairs, fresh cream chocolate eclairs. Right, whilst you're talking amongst yourselves, right, I'm also going to need some blending nibs. So these little storage jars are fantastic for keeping your nibs in as well as your brads. And I've also got my mapping pen nibs in there as well. Okay, so let me take some nibs out. Yeah, I've used some of these already. So let's just pop those ones back in there. Great. I think we've got a set of 3 of these on the website. Great for storage, not necessarily, I mean, they're great for your blending nibs, your mapping pen nibs, your brads. What have I missed? Okay, right. But yeah, you can get a set of 3 of these, or if you go for the brads that are back in stock. What was it Barb said on Saturday? She said, Bradalooya. Bradalooya. Oh, it's Les Dawson. See, I knew I'd be off key on that. For some reason, yeah, I can see his face now. Of course it was. Okay. Right, so let's pop those to one side. I think I need a couple of blending pens to have on the go at once. You can never have too many blending pens. I'll just grab another one out of my bag. Okay. Right. Oh, it's chair. So my first colour option was going to be, it was this lovely burgundy colour with the yellow. Okay. So I'm going to go on with the lightest colour first. So I'm just going to scribble some colour down very, very lightly. Let's just do one half of the butterfly. Okay, so that's going to be the yellow. Yeah. And then I need my spot on sponge, my lovely Dorso oil. This will make you feel very summery. It's very citrusy. So Josie's saying Barbara Windsor and Larry Grayson also did cream cake adverts. Oh, I'm totally confused now. I'm going to stick with Lorraine Chase. So, okay. So, new blending nib, tiny little bit of oil, dab it off on the sponge. I'm going to scribble out on here. Probably got too much. Circular motions, just blend out the pigment like so. And it's amazing how far the blending oil goes. Okay, so we're just going to blend out the yellow first. And what we're doing is we're putting sort of like a base layer of colour. And don't forget, if you decide, I mean, I could have, if I'd wanted to, I could have done my colouring, and if I didn't like it, I could rub it out with the eraser pencil. But it's just as quick because it's my little practice piece. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to write what colours I'm using. So I'm going to use the B8 and the B13 because I'll forget. You know what I'm like, I always forget. So if I now take this lovely burgundy colour and I'm just going to flick inwards. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm over on here, I'm going to scribble this out because I'm going to blend this, because when you first look at this pencil, it looks brown, but there is a brown in the B pencils, and when you have them side by side, you can definitely see that it isn't brown. Okay, so once I've used we've blended in the yellow, and I'm not going to do any revealing until I've done all three different colour options. Okay. We're only going to see the back of our work to start with. So if I now take my blending pen now and start to flick outwards, let me give myself some space. Let's put the nibs to one side. This is quite nice. You can, I'm sort of, it's as if I'm doing white work. And I'm starting from the base of the wing. And I'm tickling, you know my technique of tickling the parchment. I'm just tickling the parchment with the tip of the blending nib. Okay. I don't want to create sort of like a complete blend. I want a soft, subtle blend. So, Okay, so can you see how this one isn't moving as well as this one here? Okay, that's because the oil, I need to load up with a little bit more oil, my Dorso oil, just to, there we go, kickstart it again. And we're just tickling and just drawing that colour out. Okay. Wait, that's quite nice. What do you think? So, going back over. Okay. Right, going to stop at that point there. And now what I'm going to do, just to show this lovely colour, it's a beautiful, I don't know if you call it would you call it a burgundy, or would you call it more of a wine colour? But it really is a delicious looking colour. I just wanted to show, say, because often you'll think, oh, I'm not going to use that pencil because it's a brown, but it's not. It's actually this lovely. Okay, so let me put some paper underneath it, white paper. Are we burgundy or are we wine? What do you think? A little bit more oil, just to get it going. Always looks harsher on white. Jayne saying wine. Glynis is on the fence. It's a lovely rich colour. And Mo says burgundy. It is a lovely colour. So that is B13. So don't think when you look at it, because it does look like a brown, doesn't it? But when you put the brown next to it, let me grab the brown pencil. When you put the brown next to it, you can see that there is a different colour to it. And that colour is burgundy. Okay. So, and don't forget, if you go over the edges, you can take your eraser and tidy up. Okay. So that's the first colour option. Then my next colour selection was, it was the black and red, wasn't it? Black and red. Okay. So let's do a scribble of the red on here. Has anyone finished their piece of artwork? There we go. Thank you for that, Lynn. Lynn has just Googled the fresh cream adverts, and everybody was right. It was made up by Salman Rushdie, Dairy Council and Milk Marketing Board. Cream cakes advertised by Les Dawson, Larry Grayson and Barbara Windsor. There we go. I was totally off the ball. Wasn't anything to do with Luton Airport with Lorraine Chase. Okay, so nice clean nib. I probably could have got away with that nib actually. Actually, I'm going to go back. Waste not, want not. Okay, pick up some, because that rich burgundy colour really won't affect the red. So we're going to blend in. See, the other option, I mean, I could do one part of the, I could do sort of like black, red, and just keep it very simple. But let's have a look at doing the base of red and then introducing some black. So where I did the yellow and then introduced the burgundy. Okay, right, so what I'm going to do, let's go over here for the black, like so. Ah, Luton Airport was Campari. Right, okay. Right. I just remember the adverts. Can't remember what they were. It must have been that good if I can't remember what they were advertising. But that was a few years back, wasn't it? I'd say that's got to be what, 80s? I reckon so. A little bit more oil. I'm just going to blend this red in first. Okay. Like so. Now I'm going to go to my black and I'm going to add some black in the same way that we added the burgundy to the yellow. Not too much, just, well, it says not too much, it's gone well over. And then I'm going to take the red again, and we're going to tickle the parchment to draw out the black. I mean, you could, on the same wing, if you wanted to, you could do half in black and half in red and then bring them together. Campari advert was 1979. Yeah, I wasn't that far off. I wasn't going to say early, mid, or late. Red Admiral Butterfly, yeah, absolutely. I was just trying to think roughly what sort of age I would have been sort of watching those sort of adverts. Not sort of adverts, those adverts growing up. Okay, so, and let's go now into the black. And we'll blend out. And don't forget, once you've got your base layer down and you've allowed the dorso oil to completely evaporate, probably, I mean, the room in here, if I didn't have the fans on, it would dry very quickly, evaporate very quickly. Because we can go back in and add more depth to a particular color if we wanted to as well. Okay, so that's that one. Don't forget, I better write these down. Hang on. So I used red, which is B11, and then the black, which is 2, yeah, B2. Okay. Right. Okay. So now we're going to go for the third color option. So the yellow and burgundy was my color option. The red and the black was Mo. And then Jayne was the burgundy and blue. Okay. So for this one, let's have a look. I'm going to go. So this is B14. So I'm going to use on this side the purple or cerise as a base on this half of the butterfly. And I'm going to use blue as the base on this side of the wing of the butterfly. Okay. So if this new to sort of coming in, I'm going on very, very lightly. I'm not going on hard with the pencil. just very, very lightly, just to get the pigment down onto the parchment. Right, I definitely need a new nib now because I'm not going in with the black on top of that. See, I think the black and the purple would look lovely. The black and the burgundy would look good. Black and yellow, black and blue. So do the purple side first. I've just looked up. That can't be past already. Really? Okay. So I thought we'd only been going about 10-15 minutes. Really? Where has that time gone? Because I'm enjoying myself. They do say time flies, doesn't it, when you're enjoying yourself. So, what have I got to tell you today? Excuse me. Let me just have a slurp of coffee. Okay. I'm going to go straight from the purple into the blue because I think it would disguise it enough. I don't think it's going to have much of an impact. Famous last words on the blue. So let's have a looky. Where are we now? Well, I know where I am. So tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. on our Facebook and YouTube page, I hope some of you will be joining me. I will be doing a free craft along with our Paper Stitch by Clarity collection. Launched, when did I look? I think it was last month, or I can't remember now. Every month rolls into one another. Let me bring the flyer in. So tomorrow, Wednesday the 26th of June, 7 p.m. until we're done, live on Facebook and Clarity Stamp YouTube page. And we're going to be working with the Paper Stitch by Clarity collection. Many of you purchased the starter kit, some of the refill packs. And what we've done is, if you go to the Clarity website, there is a list of ingredients that you can download and get all your bits and pieces together. Okay. Now, many of our friends in the Groovi world would already have the super foam, would already have the one needle fine. It does need to be the one needle fine, not the one needle bold. A selection of threads, but there's a whole list that you can download, and you can then just tick, right, got this, got that. And we're going to have a look at using some ink pads to apply some color with some stencil brushes. We're going to use maybe Pergolina pencils or the Pergocolor pens, maybe even use the metallic gel pens as well to color in. And then we're just going to have an enjoyable evening stitching our design out. Okay. So that's tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. It'll be a lot cooler tomorrow, hopefully. And also, because there will be nobody in the office, I can have the doors open to let a little bit more air in as well. So, right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the blue and let's add some blue to the purple, like so. So, and then I'm going to add some purple to the blue, just like so. Okay, you'll notice that I'm sort of turning my work so it's more comfortable. And we're just putting just some colour at the base of our butterfly wings. So that's tomorrow evening. Then on Friday, Barb's back on TV at 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock with some fantastic new. For those of you that tune into the Shack with Barb on a Monday and a Thursday, last year, do you remember those wooden toys you drew in the Shack? There was the reindeer. I think it was the reindeer that you drew. Yeah, I think it was the reindeer that you drew. There's 4 fantastic designs, and no sneaky peeks, I'm afraid, Ken. But I'm sure Barb will be blogging about it later in the week with some sneaky peeks. So it's a stamp and die collection. Stamps work on their own. The dies will only work with the stamps, but they're lovely. Some of the artwork that's coming from the design team, as usual. And yeah, so that's on Friday at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Then what else have we got? So I think that's it for this week. Yeah, so I'm just looking at my little list I've written down there. Monday is the 1st of July. And that can mean several things. It can mean it's the 1st of July. It also means it's a Monday. But it also means that if you don't sign up to our newsletters, our emails, then maybe now is a good time. If you're in the clubs, then you'll know. Maybe your club's about to run out this month. I would say definitely renew by the end of this month. Okay. Dum, dum, dum. Okay, so now I'm going to take the nib and we're going to draw that blue. So if you've got any questions in relation to the becoming a club member, there's 3 different clubs to join. And we've got a stamp one, a stencil one, and a groovy one. And they're always sort of evolving, sort of, and changing. I mean, the benefits are not only do you receive sort of like a product and a double-sided project sheet each month, and it's for a period of 12 months, but other benefits include, if you're in one club, you get 10% off all your purchases. And from the 1st of July, if you belong to 2 clubs, you'll be getting 12.5% off. Okay. And if you belong to all 3 clubs, then you get 15% off. So that is one benefit of being in the clubs. Your discounts on your online purchases. And so from the 1st of July, if you're now in 2 clubs, you'll now receive 12.5% off your online orders. Okay. Or if you come to any of our events as well. So it's definitely a good thing being in the clubs. I mean, yeah. I was a club member years and years and years and years ago. The stamp club. For me, it was like Christmas every month. Seeing what came through the letterbox, and then what to do with it, and then yeah. Now look, I'm here working at Clarity. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought, eh? Okay. Right, I think I have my favourite colour options so far in my head. Okay. So I'm going to turn this over now, and we're going to put it onto. I'll put it onto some companion paper, and then we'll put it onto some white paper. Oh, I didn't write the colours down. Hang on, before I forget and tidy up. B4 and B14. Yes. Okay. Right, let's have a look. So if we turn this over now, and if I'm going to bring this up, so some of it still requires a little bit more blending. So we've got the purple with the blue coming into it. We've got the blue with the purple coming into it. We've got the red with the black coming into it, or just alternate red and black. Then we've got the burgundy going into the yellow, and then the burgundy on its own. Okay. Now, let's go. Let's have a vote on some colour options. So we're going to go A, B, C, and D. So A, B, C, and D. Let's have a look at some favourites, shall we? What does everybody think? So that's on the companion paper. If I put it on a piece of white, let me just grab a piece. You'll lose the line art, but maybe you'll see, yeah, you can see the colours. Oh, you can still sort of see it. Okay, so what have we got? So we've got A, Pat's is B4 and B14, which is that one. A, B, B, love A and D. A, B, B, B. Oh, it's very close between A and B, I think, isn't it? Good choice, Jayne, of colour options. Good choice. Yeah. See, I was heading in this area because I always go to yellow and red. But yeah, and I'm torn between A and B. I think it's sort of fairly neck and neck, isn't it, with A and B? B, A would be my choice. See, I'm also thinking, because I've got my lovely rose to colour in as well, and I've got my agapanthus. Right, so Sue's telling me that A is the clear winner. Okay, so that's the colour we're going to go with on my butterfly. Okay, so what I'm going to do on my little indexing, so we're going to go, we're saying A, so it's B4 and B14. B4, not after, B4 and B14. Okay. So let's have a look at our butterfly, because it is a different butterfly to the one that I've just practiced on. But okay, so we're going more for a pink base with the blue put into it, or the purple base. So now for these parts, I think I'm going to do that, but alternate. Famous last words. So I'm going to go purple, miss one, purple, miss one, purple, miss one, purple, miss one. We're going to go purple, miss one. And you know what? If I'm not that keen, then I can always rub it out. Okay. And then I'm going to keep that one purple. So I'm going to do all my sort of base colour first, like so. Okay. And then this is going to have a complete base of that purple. And it's just very light application of colour on there first. And now I'm going to go with the blue for these parts of the wing. So come on in, hands up. Who's in the clubs? I know that's going to be sort of an outright. Well, I reckon most of our friends that are in the room today are club members. So that's quite nice, just stripy, doesn't it? And I reckon I'm going to go blue there. Okay, so that's very naively just colour has been, excuse me, applied. So I'm going to go back to my blue nib. Okay. So you said we've got lots of lovely clubbers in the room. So let's do the blue first. And we'll just blend the pigment of the blue. Okay, another question. Who in the room is coming to our parchment retreat in October? Does anybody not know what I'm talking about? So, in October, at the lovely Spa Hotel in Tunbridge Wells, we have an annual parchment retreat. And this year, it is being headed up by the lovely Linda Williams and Barbara. And I already know what's on the cards design-wise. And yeah, they're 2 fun-filled days of amazing tuition. It's just crazy. It really, really is. When you think of when you start off with just a clear piece of parchment, and after those 2 days, when you walk out of there, the different things that you've maybe managed to achieve for the first time. I know I always learn when I'm there. I mean, I'm not doing the workshop. I'll be there to assist. But yeah, but it's being headed up by Barb and Linda this year. So let's say I already know the designs and they're absolutely stunning. And it's also a way of sort of maybe getting together with friends. Your other half can come along. We've got special rates available at the Spa Hotel if you wanted to stay there as well. I know many of our friends that come along turn it into a sort of like a little mini break. And so if you need some more information on that, then reach out to Sue. She's there to help. Hotel-wise, places to stay. Let's say you can stay at the Spa Hotel. I think they've still got some rooms available. Otherwise, there's lots of other local hotels nearby. You've got there's a Travel Lodge just along the road. There's a Premier Inn down near the train station. There is there's a hotel called the Royal Wells Hotel, and that's recently been refurbished. I had it because I live in Tunbridge Wells myself. I recently had it was like a brochure of like advertising that it's all recently been refurbished. The Sunday lunches, evening meals, the rooms. So So yeah, so there's loads and loads of places. All you need to do is just Google hotels in Tunbridge Wells, and I'm sure you will find one with a budget to suit your budget. Right, okay, so I've got my sort of basic colorways down now. So if I turn that over, I mean, I quite like that as well. Oh, hang on. See, that's quite nice as well, without any blending. But I'm going to, not without any blending, with a second color added. But I'm going to add that now. Okay, so let's take the blue. So we're going to put some, I want to come from the top. Let's go from the bottom, like we did before. A little bit of blue on those ones. Flick the blue into there. So, a little bit of blue in there. Doesn't need much, because for this we're definitely working on a smaller area. So you don't need to add so much colour at the base. Okay, now I'm going to go, see, look, this way, I've got my pink and my purples on the go now. So we're going to start to draw out the blue, pick up a little bit more. I think my dorsal oil, I think, has dried out on my sponge. It's so warm in here. I need one of those jam jars. I was actually surprised that I bet everyone forgot. I wasn't inundated with jam jars I've only just remembered myself at the open days. I remember now. I'd completely forgotten about that. So we're just going to draw out the colour, just like we did on the large butterfly wings. Just like so. Doesn't need much. We'll just slowly, we'll just add a little bit more depth to our design. Jayne said, oh dear, I forgot to bring you on. Jayne, I think you had a few other things on your mind at the time. I mean, you've just come straight from TV, got caught up in the traffic on the way down. So I forgive you for not bringing me a empty jam jar. Okay. Right. So that is the blue onto the purple. So now I need to put some purple onto the blue. This one there as well. Give his little body some little depth. Okay. Yeah, thought I'd gone wrong then. No. What else? What else on my list? So we've spoken about the craft along tomorrow evening. We've spoken about the TV shows on Friday at 9 and 1. We've spoken about the craft clubs. I think that's all I had on my little list today. I forgot what colour I'm using. I want the purple one now to blend in. Right, let's start here first. So because I'm in a smaller area, I'm applying a little bit more pressure to the nib, but I really do think that my Dorso oil has dried out because it's so warm in here. Okay, I just need to be careful I don't pick up too much now. There we go. That's better. It's actually doing something. Not there. So I'm just working my way around the wings, like so. Tickle, tickle, tickle. There we go. Just tickle your, when you're blending your colours now, just tickle them in. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a clean nib, like so. I'm just going to go over all of it now, just in a circular motion, section by section, and just dry blend the colours. Okay. So, bit by bit, piece by piece. I've been so carried away with my colouring, I haven't been reading the messages. See, the other thing also is many of our friends that attend also use it as an opportunity to catch up with friends that they've met previously at previous retreats. I mean that many of you keep in touch with one another outside of the event, and obviously over on Groovi Worldwide, Clarity Worldwide, where like the whole community is, and the friendships that forge over the years. Okay. Liking the look of this. Right, I'm going to stop there. Let's turn it over and have a look, shall we? Because obviously I'm working on black, so hopefully when I put some colour behind it, it doesn't look too bad. Ready? Okay, so if I bring that up, we've got some lovely blend of colour there. And if I put a white piece of card underneath, there we go. So hopefully you can see how we sort of like blended the colours in. Oh goodness me, my I need to put my teeth in. I can't I can't talk properly. I don't talk properly anyway, but I can't talk properly today for some reason. Well, I'll put it down to the warm weather and the fans blowing all around me. But I do like that. Yeah, I would possibly change it in another way, but I'm going to go with what we've got because the colours are going to work beautifully with my Agapanthus, and I may even do a lovely lilac rose, like a blue moon. Blue moon rose used to be one of my mom's favourites. So I may stick with that sort of colour palette to tie it all together. But who knows what's going to happen between now and next Tuesday, and when we start on Tuesday, what we're going to come up with. So just bring it up a little bit closer just so you can see. There we go. So that is on just some neutral companion papers, and then just on the white, so you can see, there we go, it's fluttering in the wind, or the wind from the fan. So as always, thank you for your company. Thank you to Sue, as always, for putting all the links up and answering any questions, and obviously the design team as well, and sort of everyone chatting amongst themselves. It's great to spend an hour with you all, and hopefully some of you will come back tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock and keep me company, and we'll be needle and threads. I've got a needle threader because these needles are definitely smaller than the needles we were using with the felt over the weekend. And so enjoy the rest of your day. Try and, I know there've been morning of sort of like heat stroke and stuff like that. So drink plenty of fluids. I've got plenty of coffee, but they mean water. And hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow evening. So enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. And I'll see you again next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.